Hello, welcome to this latest episode of Football Manager, season 11 after we got Champions League last season. But before we go any further, I've made quite a bit of a mistake. So basically, I went season 8 to season 10, and I don't know how I did it. Honestly, it's been chaotic with like work and all different projects. And I also am recovering from a stomach bug at the moment. So that's kind of it. Is it an excuse? Season 10, you saw that. Before that, you saw me finish 14th. So it was champion. Obviously, I won the championship again. First season back, and I actually then came 10th. I didn't go 14th to 4th. You know, it's just like it's been ages since I played it, and I was just a bit out of it too much when I filmed it. It was in a rush. It's been chaotic, but don't worry. I'm just going to quickly show you what happened in that season. Before we get to season 11, which you're here for, I'm quickly going to show you it. I'm just going to spin through the results, show you how we got 10th place. So started with a couple of bad defeats actually, and it was not good. I lost my first 3 games, and I was worried. Eventually got a point, started picking up results. It was just really worrying. I was near the bottom at the start, and I was like, surely not after I just stayed up. But then eventually started picking up the odd result, but still in a lot of trouble around October. And then I think I was tweaking things around January by now, still just in the relegation battle. But then I started picking up the odd win, which really helped. As you can see, wins here and there, really just helping things get forward. And then I just went into some mad form at the end. I won like my last 4 or 5 games. So I was away from relegation trouble, but I ended really well. And a lot of the players that have suddenly turned up in the last season, they're all new gens anyway, but I did do a lot of business. A lot of players went the other way as well, as you can see. But I will do a more detailed thing this season on TikTok anyway, so don't you worry if you're really interested. But there we are. So yeah, this is actually my 4th season back in the Premier League now. Sorry. I will now pass you back to myself when I'm probably in a more fit state for season 11. What a tit. I can't believe I can't even count. Season 11 of my Torquay United Football Manager. We're in the Champions League this season. Despite that, we certainly predicted 12th. That shows the sort of achievement we had. So this is a young team going into the season. Haven't changed too much, but let's just show you what I have done. As expected, I've got about 10 to 20 million transfer budgets. It's all about the selling players that I have to make room for new transfers. I didn't want to do that because Adhesion's good. I've already built this really good squad. We're going out the door, and Dozer went. He's a really good player, but he just never really played for me at all. And when he did, he wasn't that good, to be fair. So 26 million. I have so many midfielders, and I have a high turnover midfielders as well. I signed him on a free. He was never really going to be good enough. I sold him for 20 million. Business. Good young attacking midfielder, but I sold him for 13 million because he wasn't breaking through. Uruguayan, Brian. Didn't quite work out for him here, but went to Leverkusen for about 13 million. Sold this guy. He came in, didn't play much, went out on loan for a couple of years, sold him for about 8 to 13 million. Turkish winger never really made it. I sold him to Dortmund, and I loaned out a couple other players. Coming in, I only made 3 signings. Signed a second choice goalkeeper. I just needed a number 2, coming for 1.7 million. He came in from Saudi Arabia, 59 million. He got an ESC slot as well, which is when you can't get a work permit. Signed a centre back, 20 years old, Uruguayan Fabian to replace Uruguayan Brian. 5 million, already like a good Premier League division player. And that's all I did. I felt like that's all I needed, really. This is a very good squad going forward. So my keeper, he's been a very solid number 1 for about 3 seasons now. Ben Rosier, he's been my right back for going into his 5th season now. French Ronnie, centre back who scored a few goals in his time, 9 goals over his 3 seasons so far. Jack Rogers had a very impressive debut season last year after moving from Man City. The left back I signed from Bristol City at the same time I got Rosier. Yeah, he's had an impressive few seasons for me now. So it's a core of players. Duncan Elliott, almost my longest serving player, signed from Charlton's youth. What a player this guy is, this Japanese guy. Signed for Man United, 32.5 million, played all 38 games last season, something that really rarely happens on FM. The star of last season, right winger from Argentina. 11 goals, 12 assists. It'll be sort of second choice or first choice number 10. Argentina from River Plate. Had a really good breakthrough season last season. The man, the myth, the legend, Jack Day. Still hasn't got an England cap, but hopefully leading Premier League division player, the legend of this save. He's what Adam Walton was in the Luton save to me in this one. Probably still my best striker. His dribbling side's really good, and he's really good in terms of like sort of the advanced ball he's creating stuff. I just want to see more goals from him. I do want to see more goals. Sometimes that's maybe my system. I've got that backup keeper, got a backup English defender, some from Madrid. This legend in midfield, really good player. Striker, I know he's not in the current squad. My main striker signed in January last season and got injured straight away, but scored 4 in 9. So he's my main striker going forward. Second choice left back from Bosnia. one of my many South American midfielders. My second choice, South American wonderkid left winger to Jack Day. What a player he's going to be. My fourth choice, Argentine centre back. It's probably on the way out. He's my second choice right back. But obviously he hasn't played enough games in that 5 dribbling. Yeah, took a bit of a gamble with that one. It's a midfielder. I signed some impressive stats really, but he just hasn't quite got going yet. And the kid I signed, I'm probably going to try and loan out. And then we've got, yeah, this lad here. Whoa, he's going to be my starting number 10. He looks a proper player. And then he's also going to be around centre back. Won the kid already. Nice at 23. A good Premier League division player already. Yeah, if we can get Europe again, just to keep, because we have to fund it financially ourselves, get Europe again, try and get out of the group sort of stage, phase, whatever you call it now, in the Champions League. And yeah, just obviously we're still a young team, but if we can get anywhere near top 7 or even top 4, that'd be absolutely fantastic again. So that's how it goes. Started with a brilliant 2-0 win at home to Arsenal. Fortunately, got battered 4-0 at Man United, and a really, really disappointed defeat at home to Brighton. We then lost at home to them again in the League Cup, but we won 3-1 at Leeds. So a mixed bag. 2 wins, 2 defeats. The Brighton one was really worrying, but that Leeds win was very crucial. It's going to be tough. These seasons are always tough when you first get in the Champions League. We've got the cohesion. We've just got. I feel it's going to be a bit of a slow burn in the league from my experience for these sort of seasons when you really overachieve a season before and your squad isn't quite ready for the next step. But we're now going to make a Champions League debut at Sparta Prague, and it started great when Rossetti got on the left-hand side and Jan Ballard, the main striker, made it 1-0. Historic first goal in the Champions League. And got even better. Again, Rossetti, the man, in for Jack Day in this game. He was a bit tired. Lovely boy, my left back. And Jan Ballard gets a brace. And there we are. First game of the Champions League. And we've won 2-0 at Sparta Prague. Incredible. Sadly, we can see a 5 home to Chelsea and a 5-3 defeat. Jack Day, of course, he always scores against Chelsea. His old team released him. But then an historic 3-2 win at Ajax. And then a very important 4-0 win at Watford. And despite a couple of frustrating results, we're still 8th after 6 games. 2 crucial wins Champions League. Obviously, get a couple million into the balance for each Champions League win you have. So, yeah, overall, I'm still really happy. If we can just keep touch and just try and sneak into like the top 7 this season. So we've got some sort of Europe, and that'll be crucial. Another disappointing defeat, though, after that mini break, home to Bournemouth. Very impressive 2-2 draw into Bayern Munich in Champions League. That seems to happen when you have this sort of thing. I think I did my Luton one. I did really well in Champions League, but really badly in the league. 4-2 defeat at Liverpool. Frustrating draw at home to Sunderland. Decent 2-2 draw in Champions League. Ridiculous in the 94th minute, though. 1-1 draw at Tottenham. And finally, a huge 2-1 win against Man City. Finally sort of ended that poor form in the league. Very good 4-1 win in the Champions League. Men, 11th in the Premier League. Despite it was really disappointing home defeats. We sorted that home form out. We would have been in like top 7 comfortably. In the Champions League, we're looking good to go through. We're made if we can get to top 8, so we've sort of missed the last 32. I do, especially from like a football manager side, I do like this format. It's annoying in a real life where we've got 2 more like games the players have got to play. But actually, you know what? I do kind of like having more of a mix of teams to play. I love the old format, but actually there's just a lot more kind of going on because it comes to the last day and it's still an effort to try and get that into like the top 8. So I think it works. Personally, so it works in real life, I guess, but I like it from like a virtual football manager point of view. Another disappointing defeat at Wolves. I say disappointing. I feel like I have really high expectations for this team now because of coming like 4th. I feel like I have really high expectations for this team now for getting Champions League. But at the end of the day, it's still a growing team. These defeats are going to happen. We aren't title winners yet. Brilliant 4-0 win against West Ham and a brilliant 3-1 win at Middlesbrough. We're up to 9th, and that's still respectable. I think we've got to be realistic on expectations. We're still doing really well in the Champions League. If we can try, I do want to try and get top 7 or win a League Cup or FA Cup. But yeah, well, we've gone out League Cup, but still, that is my aim this season. Drew 0-0 to PSV, bit disappointed not to win, but point in the right direction. Drew 0-0 against Brentford. That is very disappointing. Just the home form just hasn't been there this season at all, which is really bizarre. Lost 1-0 at Villa. It's just been frustrating. But then excellent 4-0 win at Southampton, excellent 3-0 win against Everton. The quality is there, it's just not been consistent as we reach the end of the calendar year 2033. 8th place, 5 points now the gap, which is realistic. Some of the poor results we've had, we can be really happy to be 8th. In terms of the Champions League, well, we're definitely going to go through to at least a round of 32, which is an incredible achievement. Still a chance, very good chance of getting to the sort of the last 16 straight away by getting the top 8 finish. But yeah, wow, it's still been a great season. In terms of finances, looks good there, but still a lot of debt, which is going to be for the next 10 years, we'll be paying off because just get no money in. We get 21,000 capacity. We ain't too bad for a club our size, of course. But this is no investment. It's just a bit annoying, really. Back day though, top scorer 10 goals. Yeah, there's some inconsistent performance with Jack Day. Look at that, 25 now. Still hasn't made he's world class. I know it's on form, but he's world class now. Surely he's got to get into England squad soon. Look at that. What a legend. 8 goals, 5 assists in 17 games. Other good players. That number 10 outside has been outstanding. Players really starting to come into their own now. South Korean midfielder's very good. Not playing enough for himself because I have to rotate midfield a lot. Right back Ben Roger's been good. Valencia's been a good second striker. Yeah, all in all, Jan Bellard's been all right. The other striker started well. Inconsistent 4 goals in 14 games. Not incredible. So a 4-2-3-1 at the moment. Sort of changed roles around. This is what it was at this moment here. But still very solid. If we can just end the season well and try and get a top 7, that'd be very good. 4-0 winning against Crystal Palace in the 3rd round of the FA Cup. Disappointed defeat at Newcastle. Decent draw at Arsenal. Look at that though. 89th minute, 2-1 up. And then they've equalised on 3rd. And then we drew 1-1 against them again in the Champions League, which is a penultimate game of the Champions League sort of draw.